So obviously, y'all not gonna let me chill on my good day off that I said I was gonna have from YouTube until later on tonight when the Come Up Miami and Fashion Aries come on. Like, girl, I was about to give me a good little shower. Actually, I was about to do my little pulsating jet bathtub and just luxuriate in all of my luxuriousness. But I can't do that because y'all keep blowing me up with this whole thing about Tahiry and Joe Budden. So I said, I'm going to be more consistent with giving you all tea talk, especially considering with COVID still running amok around here, staging the coup, running amok in my Mama D voice. So I'm going to go on ahead and give y'all what y'all been asking for, and that's this little piece of tea talk about Tahiry accusing Joe Budden of domestic violence during their relationship. And maybe then y'all let me live. So, Love and Hip Hop star Tahiry Jose accuses Joe Budden of domestic abuse, says Budden was violent. Love and Hip Hop's Tahiry Jose dropped some shocker claims about her relationship with Joe Budden, referring to their relationship as violent. She got candid about what she says she experienced. As a main cast member of Love and Hip Hop New York, Jose appeared on the show for the third time in Jose appeared in the show for the third and fourth seasons. She left the show several years before returning to the series in the 10th season as a supporting cast member. Jose began dating Budden in 2005. Her first two seasons on the show featured a major storyline about her on and off relationship with Budden. Another storyline on the show talked about her foray into music. She left Love and Hip Hop New York just as the fifth season was beginning, though she reportedly taped scenes for it that did not make it into the series. She claims there was violence when they were together. In a new interview with Hollywood Unlocked, Jose talked about her relationship with Budden as well as how things are between them now. In public, she said she appeared as if nothing was happening. I think that the way I was dealing with being in a relationship with Joe was just tucking it, hiding it because I couldn't stop, she said. Get out of here. Tucking and hiding because I couldn't stop, she said. I have to keep going because people rely on me because I have a handful stuff, because I have to handle stuff, because I have to grow in this business, because I'm not going to fold. Tahiry, that's a lot of becauseing, girl. Then she detailed alleged abuse by Budden, some of which says was a result in telling him to stop beefing. I've been beaten before, she added. That relationship left me with a fractured rib and a broken nose because somebody was sending him a message. And I used to always say, stop beefing out there. I'm still working. And he hit me on that nose and then pushed me down a flight of stairs. I remember having a plan to leave because the reason he was so upset was because I was already leaving, looking through my phone and ish. But I had already told him to give me 2 weeks to pack my things. He agreed to it and then started looking through my phone. Next thing you know, I got woken up by him dragging me by my ankle. I managed to get up from that floor. Jose also talked about going to the hospital and lying to doctors, as well as having this alleged abuse referenced in songs. It started with verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and eventually turned into that, she continued. I still fear for my safety. He hurt me bad, and I just stayed quiet. I went to the hospital, and he sat next to me. I lied to the doctors and said I was cleaning the cabinet and fell in the kitchen. And then he rapped about it. What does she say about their relationship now? As of the current state of their relationship, she doesn't necessarily say that they're in a bad place. Still, they don't seem to be good with each other at the moment. With Jose, No, with Joey, there's no telling, she said. It's just, he's pretty much unpredictable. I don't know if I trust him too much. She also says that she forgives him for what allegedly happened in their relationship. When it comes to Joe, it all depends. I let go and let God, so I have forgiven everything he did. It's whatever to me. Budden has yet to say anything about Jose's interview until now, because thanks to one of the lovely T-subs, here it is. Thanks to the lovely T-subs, Joe Biden, Lord God, Joe Budden has to resurface, and this is what he had to say about the allegations.
This young lady is a liar, a cancerous, toxic liar. I'm uncertain why she's lying this way. I'm not certain if she is misspeaking, if she has a false recollection of things. I'm not sure what it is, but she said some things that didn't sit right with my soul. We're talking about 24 and 25-year-old Joe, 25-year-old, 26-year-old you. We were toxic to each other. And I'm glad that the climate has changed and we are able to have some conversations today that we couldn't have back then. Yeah. Because today I'm very comfortable saying, you were abusive. You used to beat my ass. You hit me, you kicked me, you did a whole bunch of shit that's not what was alleged here. You said or made it seem as though your nose was broken as a result of abuse by Joe. You were not clear in how and when and why you got your nose broken, and that Joe had absolutely nothing to do with that. You are a cancerous, toxic, clout check chasing liar. You called me when you got into that physical altercation with that gentleman, and he punched you in your face and your nose was broken. Why this story is coming up now and how it's related to me exactly, I'm unclear. But I can tell you what happened, since your memory seems to be a bit foggy all of a sudden. You said, or made it seem,
that relationship left me with a fractured rib, a broken nose because somebody was sending him a message, and I used to always say, stop beefing out there. I'm out there still working. And he hit me on that nose and then pushed me down a flight of stairs. I remember having to talk him out of letting me go that day. I remember having a plan to leave, because the reason why he was so upset was because I was already leaving. That relationship left me with a fractured rib.
So that's basically all that we are able to play of their back and forth with each other. I'm sorry. But I'm assuming you could go to Hollywood Unlocked to hear Tahiry's story, and I don't know where you could go. I guess you could go on Joe Budden's podcast and you can hear the entirety of what he had to say. Here's the thing. Since y'all want my opinion, here's my opinion. Do I believe sober Joe Budden would have ever put his hands on Tahiry? No. Do I believe cracked out, base head, needle in the arm, straight shooting, smoking, up the nose, sniffing ass Joe Budden had the capacity to put his hands on Tahiry? Yes, because we all see, even when he first got on Love and Hip Hop with Tahiry and he got into that whole little screaming match with Rocky Thunder, how he went from 0 to 100 so bad. So, sober Joe, I don't think so. Cracked out Joe, yeah, I could see it. I could see it, because when you cracked out and you're mad, it's like a mood depressant. It's kind of like how Molly does you. You know what I'm saying? However you feel when you take a Molly is how you gonna feel for probably the next day, depending on how big a nugget that you took. Now, I don't know that personally. I have never been a Molly person. That ain't my thing. I'm not Molly Percocet out here. I'm a nurse, okay? We learned all of that in nursing school. So that's how I know how all of that goes. So yeah, cracked out Joe Budden probably was busy shooting it up, snorting it up, and every little thing that Tahiry said, more than likely, I don't want to say he did it, but because I know his past, it's very possible. Now, I would be very interested to know if Sin Santana is going to come out soon with saying the same thing. Now, if she comes out and says the same thing, then yeah, Joe Budden, you have a real serious problem on your hand, and you go end up like Medina from Marriage Boot Camp. However, Tahiry, why are we hearing this now? Like, Tahiry, I question it with you because I feel like if Vado never had yoked you up over a situation that you caused by throwing apples at that man first, I highly doubt we would have ever known any of this. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you, sis. Tahiry, despite what this bullshit that you doing to Vado, I don't like it. I don't accept it. I'm not going up for it. But I still have a liking for you. I want to believe your story, sis. But to me, it just seems so convenient that all of a sudden, because of a situation that you popped off, you reap some repercussions of, and now you're about to play into this domestic violence abuse type of story. The new poster child for domestic violence. And I mean, and I want to believe you, sis. I want to believe Joe Budden. But at the end of the day, both of them have the capacity to either have told the truth about it or to have lied. I will say this also, Tahiry. I believe Joe Budden when he said you was abusive to him, about how you probably kicked him and punched him and smacked him, because Tahiry, this is the thing about it. The way your attitude came off on Love and Hip Hop, even when you first got on Love and Hip Hop, the first thing we remember of you was you throwing that cup of Kool-Aid all down to Rocky Thunder's face. You wanted all the smoke. We remember how you tried to fight his new girlfriend at the time. I can't think of the little girl name. Y'all know the little pasty, light-skinned girl with the curly hair. What was her name? I can't think of the little girl name now, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Even with down to her, that girl ain't did nothing to you. You hauled off and hit that woman first. It's like in any physical situation that we saw you in, and it was only two, you were the aggressor. So, and even when we saw you on Marriage Boot Camp with Vado, you were the aggressor in that situation. So, I mean, y'all, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. I believe both of them, but I also believe that both of them are lying at the same damn time. I do. And Tahiry, I'm sorry, sis. I gotta question your motives, because I still feel like how Vado never yoked you up. This is something that we still would never have known. That's how I see it. That's how I feel about it. I don't care how none of y'all feel. Y'all jump down in the comments. Let's get the discussion popping. I gave you your tea talk. So make sure to go and like it. Number one, comment, rate, share it. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And until next time, I'm holla at y'all later. Bye.
What you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.